6:30 on your Tuesday morning. This morning, cases are up in Spokane County, but we're looking at where the highest frequency of cases are coming from. Have we made any kind of progress since the Thanksgiving spike? We'll take a look at those questions.
And we know healthcare workers will be the first ones to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but how soon will the average American be able to get treatment? We're going to connect the dots.
And we're seeing a little bit of light snow coming down early on this morning. It gets heavier. I'm going to let you know how much you can expect as we start the day.
Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us again here on Up with KREM. The National Weather Service of Spokane is reporting the road will be slick today around the Spokane area this morning. They say drivers should take it slow and give extra time when traveling. And if you'd like more on your conditions outside, let's check in with Jeremy Lagoon. Jeremy, I didn't get it when I was driving. I got it when I was walking the dog this morning. I almost slipped and fell.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't notice any slick spots down by me. I'm a little farther down the hill than you are. And temperatures where I was were a bit warmer, but there it is. Snow coming down. We're going to see a little bit of a slick commute, starting a little earlier than I thought it would and a little bit heavier than we initially thought. This little prefrontal instability kicking out a bit of snow. Weather, it's always an interesting one. That's not the case all around town. In fact, if you look downtown, not coming down near as heavy just yet, and that's going to be the case for a little while longer. Temperatures hovering right around freezing make for a very interesting start to the day. You saw it was snow, and that's because that snow is pulling down some cold air from up in the atmosphere overhead. So it all depends on where you are this morning as to what you are seeing. The snow, though, is expected to continue through a good chunk of the day. Looking at radar, I think we get a bit of a break, but then the snow starts working its way in. We'll see it a bit heavier at times as we scoot through the morning, but by this afternoon, it starts to wind down and work its way on out. In the interim, you can expect temps to climb. As we get into the afternoon, once that snow winds down, we're in the upper 30s. That starts melting all of that snow that hits the ground pretty quick, and that means it's going to be a sloppy, slushy mess later on today. So it goes from a bit of a slick commute this morning to a sloppy, slushy mess later today. Dana Marie, I don't know about you, but I think if I go outside, I'm putting on some boots.
Definitely some rain boots and snow boots. Ugh, slushy, not my favorite word. All right, we're going to take a look at the stock market this morning. Stocks started the week mixed as investors weighed the latest coronavirus stimulus efforts. The market is expected to rise this week as Pfizer's vaccine is distributed. Plus, later this week, Moderna's vaccine candidate is set to go before the FDA for review.
In Washington, we're talking about almost 11 months ago since we first reported the first confirmed case of COVID in the U.S. in Western Washington. And in just a few hours, the first dose will be given at the UW Medical Center in Seattle. A group of frontline employees will receive the Pfizer vaccine today at 11. The employees are nurses, doctors, environmental services staff, and respiratory care therapists. Other healthcare workers will have access to the vaccine this Thursday. UW received 3,900 doses yesterday morning. That's the same number that will be shipped to Spokane. As of right now, the health department has not confirmed which providers will be getting the first doses or when they will arrive.
2.9 million Pfizer doses will roll out this week, with an additional 2.9 million next week and 20 million by the end of the year. CBS News reports the Trump administration delayed the vaccine to most nursing homes working with the government's pharmacy partners like CVS. They're delaying that until December 21st due to patient consent issues. And the COVID-19 vaccine is here, but if you're not a frontline worker, when will you get it? Well, it turns out it will probably be a few months away, but potentially sooner than you think. We connect the dots.
Now that vaccines for coronavirus have started in the U.S., how soon will average Americans be able to get the shot? Let's connect the dots. The answer to how soon the average adult will get the coronavirus vaccines depends right now on who you ask. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar says in late February and early March, it will be as easy as getting the flu shot, with stores like Walmart and Walgreens giving out the vaccine to the general public. That is, of course, after high-risk individuals like healthcare workers and the elderly get their vaccines. That is a slightly different timeline than the one from the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, Dr. Anthony Fauci. He reports that by the end of March and the beginning of April, that normal, healthy men and women will have access to the vaccine. Dr. Fauci says that would mean we would be approaching herd immunity by next fall. So what does having herd immunity mean? Well, that is when we can start easing off some of our public safety measures like face masks. But the experts do estimate close to 70% of Americans will have to be vaccinated to reach that herd immunity.
We are approaching 6:36 right now. It's going to be months before all of us will have access to that COVID-19 vaccine. But today we want to answer a few questions about our specific situation here in Spokane County right now. I'm going to take a closer look at how the Airway Heights Correctional Center outbreak is impacting all of our overall cases throughout Spokane County. Then we're going to look for any sign of progress that we've seen since the Thanksgiving holiday. And finally, the last question we're going to ask today is, where are we seeing the highest frequency of COVID-19 outbreaks across Spokane County? All of those questions coming up today. But on the Spokane Regional Health District data portal, there's a new note that says cases reported between December 7th and December 12th, so that means last Monday through Saturday, will include the 700 plus positive cases connected to the Airway Heights Correction Center outbreak. Let's isolate those days for a second here. That's the 6 days right here. It includes 2 of our 5 largest single day totals we've ever reported last week. 686 on Tuesday, 408 on Saturday. Now, the correction center cases have made a potentially huge impact, but we can also use this data to find signs of progress throughout the rest of Spokane County. Let me show you. We add the moving 14-day average over the top here, and even with those high numbers we're reporting, take a look at what's happening. It looks like a bit of a plateau, right? That's a good sign, because the goal of Governor Inslee's latest restrictions would be to curb that spread. Now let's take the hundreds of cases linked to the correction center out and look at this. That's something we haven't seen in a while. Based on the statement from the Spokane Regional Health District and the data on their site, it looks like case numbers could be dropping throughout our population for the first time since mid-August. If we're looking for any sign that the statewide mandates could be working, this is it. Our final question this morning: where are we being hit the hardest across Spokane County? Well, the Health District also has this map that you can find. It tracks cases by zip code. So the areas with the darker blue spaces, those are the higher frequency of cases. The highest frequency of cases in Spokane County comes from the 99001 zip code. That's a rate of 7,051 per 100,000 people. That is easily the highest, much higher than the second highest frequency of 5,871 per 100,000 people. That's in the 99218 zip code. The third highest frequency of infection comes from the 99216 zip code, where the rate is at 5,134 cases per 100,000 people.
Well, for all those last-minute shoppers out there, today is your last day to get ground shipping at the post office for your postal and boxes to get there before Christmas.
According to FedEx, USPS, and UPS, if you get those boxes in the mail today, they will still make it to your friends and family by Christmas Eve.
Now, if you can't make it today, you can ship through USPS by first class or priority mail by Friday, but it will cost extra.
Yeah, FedEx has a few options also. You can ship all the way up until Christmas Day. Wow, if delivery is in the same city, of course. To play it safe, you should ship by Monday and use the Express Saver option.
And UPS also has select delivery up until next Wednesday for all of you last-minute shoppers out there. And still ahead on Up with KREM, airline employees go viral for a new song and dance. And it's all for the sake of safety.
Looking at a bit of snow this morning. By this afternoon, it's all a sloppy mess. I'm going to let you know how it all plays out.